Hey there, nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and we are back with another episode of Hobby Side. This is a series that is dedicated to the hobby aspect of miniatures wargaming, and on today's episode, we are doing a showcase of our brand new Scarcrag Snivellers Goblin and Blood Bowl team for an upcoming Blood Bowl league that we're doing on this channel. And as you can see, this team is fully painted up, it is fully completed, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So just a little FYI for you guys. For those of you guys who are longtime viewers of the channel, you guys might have remembered a series that we did a while ago called Tales from the Tackle Zone. It was a series that was dedicated to Blood Bowl. Now when we ran that campaign, we actually only had 4 teams in that campaign, just because I only had 3 other players in my gaming group who were actually interested in playing Blood Bowl at the time. So we actually ran a little round robin. We did, I think, 7 games for that one. It was a pretty quick campaign, and it was actually really enjoyable. But unfortunately, a lot of things were happening during that time. We only had a couple of players playing it. At the same time, the time period that we started getting into it, COVID-19 was starting to show up on the scene. So because of that, that campaign got cut kind of short. And of course, as you guys are fully aware of the last few years, all the craziness surrounding that. So because of that, with COVID-19 and getting games in and things of that nature. So because of that, now things are starting to settle down a little bit. My friends and I are actually thinking about revisiting Blood Bowl and actually doing another league. In fact, to be perfectly honest, we actually have 12 players, including myself, who are actually interested in doing a Blood Bowl league. And so because of that, we actually have quite a bit of number of teams now signing up for the campaign. So it's just a matter of my friends buying their miniatures and then, of course, getting them painted up, and then we'll be doing this on our regular basis. We'll be doing a Blood Bowl team. In fact, we actually have so many players who are interested in doing a Blood Bowl league that I'm actually thinking I'll be the arbitrator for the campaign. What I'm actually thinking about doing is actually splitting into 2 different conferences. So that way we have an easier way of managing the different teams. Just because if we were to do a traditional round robin with all 12 teams, it'd be like a really super long series that would take about 1.5 years to complete if you were to actually do it that way. So because of that, by breaking it into 2 different conferences, it actually makes the season shorter. And actually, it also kind of perfectly mirrors American football in the same way. Now, for those of you who are not fans of NFL or American football, you may not be aware of this, but the National Football League here in the United States is actually divided into 2 conferences. We have the AFC and the NFC. The AFC stands for the American Football Conference, and the NFC stands for the National Football Conference. And this is from way back in the day when football was just starting out, because there was no real way to kind of organize games, so they broke into different conferences. And of course, that's where we get the Super Bowl from. The Super Bowl is actually a game that is played between the AFC and the NFC champions, and that determine who's the overall champion of the NFL, the National Football League. We're actually thinking about doing the same thing with our Blood Bowl League this year by doing exactly the same thing. I actually have 2 conferences planned out. One's called the Old World Conference, and the other one's called the OWC. And the other one's called the New World Conference, the NWC. And we have 6 teams per conference, and then they'll be playing amongst themselves in traditional round robin. And then we'll have our champions from both the NWC and the OWC. And then they'll play for the Blood Bowl to see who's the overall champion of the league. And this will be my team that I will be playing personally in our campaign. I will be playing a Goblin team, the Scarcrag Snivellers. Now, a lot of people might be out there wondering, Commander Cheapskate, why are you playing the Goblin team? The reason why I play the Goblin team is for 2 reasons. One, they're natural underdogs. According to the new rules that have been updated now for Blood Bowl, they actually added a tier system now for all the existing teams already out there. And tiers 1 through 3, 1 being the best, 3 being the worst. And the Goblins are definitely a tier 3 team. They are the underdogs of the leagues. So the reason why I'm playing this is because I do like playing underdog teams. I feel like that whenever you put a ranking system on a game, what ends up happening is a lot of players will go for the upper echelons of different armies or teams or gangs because they want to win, that kind of thing. But I like playing a lower tier team because of the satisfaction I get whenever I beat somebody who has a quote-unquote top tier team with my quote-unquote underwhelmingly bad team. And it's just so much more satisfying when you actually do that. Just to give you guys an idea of actually about the kind of person I am and my personality, I watch football semi-regularly. And it was funny because my friends were actually really diehard football fans. I could take or leave it personally, but my friends were like, well, you need to have a team, man. I mean, that's how it works. And so we were doing fantasy football once, and I decided to play the Cleveland Browns. And everybody in the room was like, oh my God, you're going to play the Cleveland Browns for your fantasy football? And it made me think, I was like, why, what's so bad about them? And that's why, because they're like an underdog team. That's the second reason why I want to play the Scarcrag Snivellers. The Scarcrag Snivellers are kind of like the Cleveland Browns of Blood Bowl. And actually, I really can't complain because my Browns are actually doing pretty well this year. But yeah, I just randomly picked that team because I'm like, well, no one likes the Browns. I'll choose them for my league, for my fantasy football league. And so it's kind of like a joke now that I like that team. They're actually doing very well actually this year, so I can't complain. So I was a diehard fan back when they were bad. But so that's the reason why I'm playing the Goblins. And the second reason why I like playing the Goblins so much is because the Goblins have secret weapons. They are cheaters. They're notorious cheaters. They have access to easy bribes so that way they can foul players. They bring secret weapons onto the pitch like chainsaws and fanatics and bombs and pogo sticks and doom divers. What is there not to like about a Goblin team? That's my counter argument. You know, you're playing a Goblin team in Blood Bowl not because you're planning on winning every game, just because you plan on having a lot of fun and making your enemies suffer. And that's exactly why I'm playing the Scarcrag Snivellers. They just kind of spoke to me as a team, and I like the color scheme. I like the way they play, so that's the reason why I'm playing them. So as you can see here, I actually bought a box set, legitimate, straight up. These guys are not used. I actually bought them. I actually bought an actual out-of-the-box Blood Bowl team to play. Usually whenever I buy miniatures for a game, I try to look for any secondhand used teams that might be out there, just because I like paying for things at a discount because, you know, hashtag Commander Cheapskate, Cheapskate lifestyle. But in this case, I actually spent some money. I actually got these guys on sale. I bought them on Amazon for like $30. And so that's why I got them. And they're really, really cool. It was kind of funny because I remember when I was playing this team, a lot of my friends were telling me like, yo, Commander Cheapskate, if you want to get the secret weapon, the dirty players, you actually have to go to Forge World to buy them. And I said, I'm not going anywhere to buy them. I'm just going to use what I have on hand. So if you notice here, I actually got two teams. I have the actual original Blood Bowl team of goblins, of 12 goblins. I also have 2 trolls for this team. They're both Citadel trolls. This one I actually bought way back when Blood Bowl first came out. Not when they first came out. When the new edition of Blood Bowl came out. When they re-released it. And so this was the original troll I actually bought. I actually bought the box set for that one. This one here, though, I bought secondhand. I got it for a couple bucks. I think it was like 10 bucks. I think is what I got it for, $10 to $15. There's this guy, like I said, at my local gaming store who was actually selling a bunch of his Blood Bowl miniatures. I actually bought the Elf Union team off of him, and I got this guy too as part of that. Now, my other team here, these are my special players, my special team. These are my secret weapon guys. If you guys look closely enough, you'll recognize that these guys are actually Nobblers from Warhammer Fantasy. Ogre Nobblers. Actually, these 5 are actually Ogre Nobblers. This guy's a little football icon that I decided to paint up to be a team member instead. But yeah, these were actually the actual Nobblers for those guys. And the reason why is because I have these Nobblers kind of like collecting dust in my spare bits box. So I figured, hey, might as well put them to some good use. Like, for example, this guy here, he's got like cannonballs in the back of his bag here. He's also got a torch. That's going to be my bombardier, for example. This guy here with a little zip line, he's going to be my doom diver. The idea is supposed to be he's actually riding in on a hook on a zip line. So that's my doom diver. This guy here will be my pogoer. He doesn't have a pogo stick, but he's dressed like a football. So the idea is supposed to be this guy is a sneaky and he snuck past the defense, and that's how he became a pogoer, for example. This guy back over here is probably going to be my hooligan back over there. So you have that character. And then, of course, I also have my little fanatic guy with a big stick. So he's running around hitting people with it as well. So, like I said before, I got all my secret weapons pretty much planned out for the most part. And that's exactly what I'm going to use these guys for their killer contraptions and their little dirty tricks things. And so as you can see here, they look actually really good. In fact, you didn't know any better, you would think they're actually part of the miniature line. All I had to do is just paint their clothing in the black and yellow for the Scarcrag Snivellers. So yeah, really happy with the way that this team really came out. So you can see we went with the black and yellow, we went the black and yellow color scheme. As you can see, because these poses are pretty much monopose, when it comes to Blood Bowl teams, you're pretty much given a box of 6 poses, and then they duplicate what they do. And the way that you create some variety in your teams is by swapping out the heads for the most part. So you can see here, this guy has the same body as the guy back there, but their heads are totally different. And that pretty much goes all the way down the line. So to create the illusion of variety to these guys, what I like to do is I like to alternate the paint job on the team so that way you can see how they look a little bit different. So for example, if you look at this guy here, he's got looks like a helmet on his right-hand shoulder there, left-hand shoulder rather. So I painted that black, while the guy behind him, I painted his yellow. So it just kind of adds a little bit of variety to the overall color scheme, so that way it kind of throws you off a little bit. Now, I originally tried to use different shades of yellow. I actually used a darker yellow and a lighter yellow to try to differentiate between the two different sculpts. However, though, when I oil washed them with my poly shades, my Minwax poly shade, it just made all the yellows the same tone for the most part. So because of that, they kind of look exactly the same. So my attempt to differentiate the team members in different shades of yellow didn't work out I originally planned. But, you know, you learn something new every single day, every single time you do a paint job. So you can see these guys are painted up using all of our Cheapskate method as well. And you can see I got my 2 coins. This is what the back looks like for the coin, and this is what the front looks like. I also got my turn markers back here. So you got the one on the left there and the one on the right. That's what they look like. And then, of course, I got my ogres. No, not my ogres, I'm sorry, my trolls. Now, the trolls were a lot of fun, actually, to paint up. I really like these guys. They have lots of detail, like you have like a football helmet for knee pad. You got the bear trap. You got the little bandolier of bones and stuff. So this is actually a lot of fun to paint. I decided to go with 2 different traditional color schemes with my trolls. This first one has got this gray as well as this dark gray, almost black scales on his back. And the reason why I decided to go with that color scheme was because I was trying to pay an homage to the original stone trolls from Warhammer Fantasy, from the Warhammer Fantasy battle. And so because of that, stone trolls traditionally have like a grayish hue to them, and that's what I was kind of going for that one. Now the other troll, which is this guy here, he's kind of like a blue, kind of a teal almost color. So you see he's very, very bright teal color for his flesh, and then his scales are a darker blue for that guy as well. Now the reason why I chose that color scheme for this player and make it just a little bit different was because I was trying to go for that traditional troll. There's if you guys ever watched older edition, looked at pictures of older edition of Blood Bowl, there's always this blue troll that they always use. He's got chainmail around his fist. He's got a spike coming off. He's got like a yellow pickleball helmet that he wears with a spike on the top. He's kind of a classic miniature, and he was always in this vibrant blue turquoise look. And I always liked that look when I was a kid, looking at advertisements for Blood Bowl. And so I decided that I wanted to create that same kind of look for my other troll on my team as well. And so that's why we created that. So you kind of make those different colors. So it came out pretty nice. I'm really happy with the way that the end result came out for both of these teams. So you can see like little cosmetic things, like I painted this guy's helmet kneecap red. Oh, this guy's blue. So that way you can create some variety between the players. And of course I painted the goblins with some on their hands, just a little bit of differences to create that variety of looks as well. As you can see here, the same thing with my little nobblers here. You can see this guy, for example, I painted him black and yellow for these guys too, so that way they can they look like they kind of blend in together. In fact, if I was to take some of these guys out and actually just go like this real quick and just kind of change around a little bit, they look like they pretty much blend in with the rest of the team, as you can see. So there's not that much difference. Because Commander Cheapskate ain't buying nothing if I already have it on hand. And so if that means substituting some players with some nobblers from Ogre Kingdoms to do that, that's what I'm going to do, because the name is Commander Cheapskate, not Major Moneybags. So that's why I equipped them that way. So once again, same kind of base on the miniatures. We added some homemade flocking on it, so that way we can blend it in with the grass of the Blood Bowl pitches. So these look really, really good. Pretty happy with the overall result. And this will be my team that I'll be playing for the Blood Bowl League that's coming out. So in fact, we got some more other teams coming in. We have some, I think we have 2 undead teams that are going to be in it. We have a Imperial Nobility team. We have a Black Orc team coming in as well. We also have a Nurgle's Rotters team that wants to be in here, as well as a Lizardman team. And then we got a Dwarf team, a Human team, an Elf Union team. We also have an Orcs team. We also have a Dwarf team as well. So we're going to have 12 teams in total by the time it's all done. Let's assume, of course, another one of my friends doesn't want to jump in. After all, like Big Puka just saw the new Corn team that came out, released for Games Workshop from their announcements, and he's actually thinking about actually wanting to be that team. So who knows? Who knows how large this league will get by the time we get done to it. But yeah. So you guys have it. This is the Scarcrag Snivellers, my Goblin Blood Bowl team for our upcoming Blood Bowl League. That's good for this week, guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is invaluable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest, greatest hobby news related to our channel. That's good for this week, guys. We'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.